Welcome to Wealthy Mind, where we talk about all things finances, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the surprising.
Welcome to Wealthy Mind. I am your host, Misty Rose Gold, International Success Coach. And here at Wealthy Mind, we love to help you create and maintain a wealthy mind. So today I have with me a special guest. His name is Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I am so glad you're here. We are talking about a very, very, very important topic today that is going to resonate with business owners and all of our audience, especially in the first quarter of a new year. So, Brian, would you please tell us your full name and the book you are an author of?
Certainly, yes, my full name is Brian Herriot, like the woman's name, Harriet, or James Herriot, the author, which is just a pen name. It's the other
Mhm.
famous Harriet out there. But I am the author of a book called Time Freedom: Rethink Your Work and Money to Create a Life You Love Now. And it is a book that describes my journey of discovery from pursuing financial freedom to realizing that really that's not what I was looking for. What I
Mm,
was looking for was control over my time, the autonomy, the choices, the ease,
mm,
and the fact that I felt that I needed to become independently wealthy wasn't necessary. You could still have what financial freedom could give you, which is time freedom, but just have it before time freedom. If you pursue time freedom first, then you can let the financial freedom happen on its own.
I like it. It definitely resonates with me and how I structure my work week. I typically work Monday through Thursday and then maybe Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm done, I'm done. Like maybe I'll catch a straight email in the evenings or something, but I turn my notifications off at 5 p.m. My text notifications go off, business and personal.
That's great. Yeah, when people do say, "Well, what time freedom?" First thing that they'll say is that work-life balance? Is that what you're talking about? Which is a fair question, but it is most certainly not in my mind.
Mm,
To me, work-life balance is that thing that your employer tries to give you to tell you that you can, take a couple hours off in the middle of the day to go pick up your kid from school, but then have to make it up, 3 hours in the evening. And it's just very kind of hour by hour focused. Whereas I see time freedom being more of a lifestyle
mhm,
view. It's a look also that I see in, like you had said, weeks, months, and even years. So your version is no work on Fridays. Mine is no work in the summer. And there are different
mm,
variations, but it's broader, I think, than work-life balance. And then the other thing that they say, oh, you mean financial freedom. And like I kind of alluded to before, financial freedom to me means, you've now made and saved enough so that you don't ever have to work again. And so
mm,
many people, especially those who are entrepreneurial, like myself and yourself, there's really good things about work. It's
mhm,
socially rewarding.
mhm.
You develop expertise. It's a constant growth. And if you were to become financially independent and then no longer have to work anymore, it's not really the answer either. And
No, I would be
right.
so bored.
Yeah, and the thing that I noticed this happened to me back in 2020 was, I was pursuing this financial freedom thinking that that was the answer. And
Mm,
I'm so glad that I learned before I became financially free that it wasn't, because if I had pushed hard, worked, strained, stressed, built up that nest egg and then finally achieved it, only then to realize, oh, I'm still going to probably just do a little work anyway. That would have been the long path to the wrong goal.
Mm. Yes. So time freedom gives me the ability to be fulfilled now, not wait. So that's my philosophy in business is I'm going to be fulfilled now. I'm going to be fulfilled each week, not a destination, but right now.
Yeah.
Now, how do I get there? And how do I maintain that? Not get there because I'm there, but how do I
Hmm.
maintain that? This is a practice that I've had for eons is just no, I set my time. And
Hmm.
rare occasions I'll work outside of that if need be, but I set my time and I challenge myself to think outside the box and how do I create more money within the same time frame?
And constraints breed creativity. And
Yes.
yeah, and you're able to figure it out. It's like when somebody has a tragedy come up and they have to fly home to deal with like a death in the family or something, and you're off work for a month or two. Things get figured out.
Mm-hmm.
You figure out how to do it, and so it's a version of that without the tragedy, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's very possible. It's just, you have to challenge your mindset in order
Yeah.
to have the time freedom now, in order to have the fulfillment now, in order to put the boundaries on your time so that you do have to think outside the box and that you do have to focus on creating something. It's like, how do I make more money in the same time frame? It
Hmm.
works. It works so beautifully. Like that's how everything continues to evolve in my world. I'm not going to sacrifice the fulfillment that I have to work more. Like that's not the goal here.
Hmm.
No, it was like
Yeah,
today, it was such a beautiful day because we're not having winter in Colorado, which we usually have winter, but we're
I
not
know.
having winter. So I took full advantage of it and I was like, okay, I have two meetings that I have to be in a building for on a Zoom call, one at 9 o'clock, one at 3 o'clock. In between that, I can go somewhere else that's beautiful. I can hike as long as I have cell service because on my hike, I stopped, sat on a bench, and did the rest of the work I needed to do in the sun. Beautiful. Jumped
Wow.
back in the car and drove to our interview. So that's part of it too. It's like, yes, I have the discipline to get the things done that I need to get done in each day, but I also have the flexibility. If I don't have in-person meetings or Zoom meetings, if it's a nice day out, I can do something like that. I can pop
Hmm.
to a place where I can go to a park or go on a hike as long as I have cell service and make sure that I sit my butt down and finish my work, right? And that's what I did, and it was so beautiful. And that's a version of time freedom for me as well, is making sure that I still have that breathing room throughout the day to take care of me. If I need to be outside, I can be outside.
If you don't mind, I can explain like what I'm hearing because I think conventional ways to approach life in the
Hmm.
United States, at least, there are these three things that have to work together, and I think most people say I need to make this money, right? And to make a certain amount of money, I need to work in this way, and then that's going to then give me the lifestyle that I think I need. And so it's those three things have to work together, but I think we're approaching them backwards. What I'm hearing you say is you're like, what lifestyle do I want?
Hmm.
That's the first thing. And then let's focus on how I organize my work to achieve that lifestyle
Hmm.
and still make enough money. But the money isn't necessarily the focus. The work is. And when you're designing your work to work with your life, you're more excited about it, you're more engaged with it, and then you're going to end up making
Hmm.
more money anyway.
Hmm.
So the money will come. And when you can balance that work and that money together to create the life, then that is the formula actually for time freedom. And that's what I mean in the subtitle. Rethink your work and your money, and then create a life you love now. Those are the three components. And yeah, I think for me, my challenge before this came to me was that you had a lot of focus, like there's the money people, like
Mm.
in your life, the financial advisors, the bankers, the everyone focused on your money and how you accumulate it and invest it. And that's great, but they don't really talk to the work people, the entrepreneurial coaches, the business advisors, all of those
Mhm.
sorts who don't talk to the money people. And so I couldn't find, and I didn't have the skill at the time to kind of figure out how they both work together. And
Mm.
when you do bring them together, that's when the magic happens. And you
Mhm.
can create, you can work part of the year and use some of the money that you've saved from earlier in your career to handle the inconsistent income so that then that allows you to take the summer off and then therefore you're living the lifestyle that you want. It's just this, it's
Mhm.
got a balance. And that's why I also like that it's balanced because that means it's achievable. If it was some extreme thing that you needed to do, it sounds
Mhm.
cool, but nobody would do it. It's balanced. And so that means to me, at least, that it's very achievable.
Mhm. Yeah, and I agree with you. As a success coach for business owners, I do work with financial advisors very closely and wealth managers, and it depends on where the business owner is playing. If
Mm-hmm.
they're in growth strategies, I use different parts of my network for that, or I'm talking to different experts if need be on their behalf or for them, right? We're part of their team. And then exit strategies. So exit strategies, you have to have a team of advisors to take you through that
Mm-hmm.
process. Very, very, very important. And wealth managers are a part of that conversation. Mergers and acquisitions is a part of that conversation. It's, yeah, we all work together, or we should. Like, I feel that it's doing a disservice to the business owner if there isn't a team involved. If you
Right.
don't have, if your team's not communicating, it's not truly working for you. So, extremely important.
Yeah. And it's great that you have that perspective because not many do. And it was actually a weird challenge in writing the book. When as you know, when you write the book, they're like, well, what part of the bookstore should it go in? It, and I'm like, well, I don't know. You tell me. And they're like, well, what is it about? I say, well, there's a couple chapters on entrepreneurship, a couple
Mhm.
chapters on saving and investing, and a couple of chapters on lifestyle design. And they're like, oh no, that's like three different things. I'm like, well, that's the beauty of it is that you have to bring those three things together to make it work. I think we ultimately decided on entrepreneurship
I
because
would go there too.
that's the fastest way. Yeah. Like, the time freedom is available to um, anyone that has, a skill in one of those areas, but the fastest way is entrepreneurship because you can design that lifestyle business that works for you.
Hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
Well, that's good. That
Definitely.
means that if you were to go to that section to find the book, that's where it will be.
Very good. So, where is your book available?
So my book is currently in pre-order status, so it's not yet out.
Mm.
But
Mm.
the pre-order links are available, and as of this Friday, which will certainly be before this is published, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Um, it can be ordered on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and bookshop.org, so a variety of places. And to um, drive interest in the book and make people not have to wait for it.
Hmm.
The marketing people advise that you have a bonus, and I'm like, what's the simplest bonus that I could give? And so what I'm offering, and I'll do a code like Misty or something like that in case your listeners are interested. But if they pre-order the book and write down their order number, and then fill out the three pieces of information in the form on my website, I'll send them the audiobook right away. So you still have to wait for the hard, back book to come out, but you can at least get the audiobook right away and you kind of get two books for the price of one.
Awesome. Well, this episode should go out to the public in February.
Oh,
So
great. So yeah, it's timefreedombook.com is where those links to order are and the 4-question form. I think it is to fill out to get your free audiobook.
wonderful. I love that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that with the audience.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start your own journey into entrepreneurship?
Oh, into entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
It's funny, like, My parents were not entrepreneurs. My mom was a nurse. My dad worked, you know, middle management at an appliance manufacturer.
Mhm.
Um, but I think in college, I took a couple classes and I kind of got the bug. The thing is, I got married soon out of college, kind of soon, 25, and my wife has chronic conditions, and this is a huge reason behind the book and the whole thing. But what that meant was that, at the time, this is back in 2001, self-employment really wasn't an option because we needed to keep the health insurance. And so
Mm.
I just had to be very careful to move from corporate position to corporate position. And then I think it was in 2009-ish or something like that when the ACA came out. No, I didn't use ACA plans, but that, triggered a whole bunch of different changes in the health insurance industry to make it a lot easier and have pre-existing conditions not even be, a thing anymore, basically, which
Mm.
is huge for me and my wife and my family. So, in my mind, that decision and that change to how the healthcare works was huge for entrepreneurial growth in this country. And so after that happened, um, what I first, let's see, it was 2014. So I guess over 10 years ago now, I, with two friends, started a small software company that still exists. I'm not part of it anymore. But that was I like creating. I think I've heard this in our pre-conversation calls. You kind of like that too. You're very creative. You just want to see a problem and you're like, oh, can I fix that? And you just want to try it out, right? What
Yeah.
and what I observed from the software process was that I'm not very good at selling software. That's what I learned in that whole process. And so I backed out of that and I had done independent consulting, not in, excuse me, consulting as part of a larger consulting firm for most of my career. And so what I really found success in is just becoming an independent consultant and then have since grown it to 4 employees. Very small, but boy,
Mm.
it does its job. Like it makes the right amount of money, not a
Hmm.
ton, but definitely plenty to allow us to have a cabin in Wisconsin and a home in California. And I'm not independently wealthy. I have to keep working. I definitely do. But I like it. And so I think I've found like the perfect happy middle. And yeah, I just like being in charge of my own destiny
Hmm.
as well.
Definitely. You strike me as the type of person that will keep working even if you have millions of dollars in the bank account.
Yeah, just in the right way,
Right.
and take more breaks and I also think like a vacation is valuable because you're taking off of work and then it's fun to go back to work and that
Hmm.
makes vacation more valuable and they go back
Hmm.
and forth. Like when you just have the one thing, it's too much. Like if you're only working, terrible. If you're only
Hmm.
on vacation, also
Terrible.
terrible. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just am impressed by usually it's like sports, not sports figures, but sports figures that move into announcing or like musicians, like what is it? What oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. The 90-year-old Southern singer, like or Cher, who's like, I
Mm.
think, isn't she like 82 years old or something? She looks like she's 50, but she's still just belting out. Like these people like are doing this long into, post retirement because they love doing what they're doing. Willie
Hmm.
Nelson, that's who I was thinking of. The 90-year-old Willie Nelson playing, concerts still. How cool is that? Like I want to basically make my job so fun and interesting that I want to do it until my 90s as well.
Yes. Sign me up. That's where I'm at.
As long as
Like
my
I,
brain keeps working and my body keeps working. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and I have to make do. But, as long as I'm
well,
still able to.
it's part of what will keep your brain working is if
Yeah.
you keep doing what you love. And I love what I do. So this is something that I can count on, whatever shape or form it takes over the years. I can count on this work to keep my mind sharp and to keep me learning and to keep me active. And
And because you do masterminds, you're building communities of people. And I think
mhm,
that's another thing that people who retire get shocked with is, I don't have my community of people anymore that I had
mhm,
through work. And so, you're building that. I'm trying to do the same, finding people
Mm.
that are of like mind and interests and kindness and being funny, like the people I want
Uh-huh.
to hang out with. I want to create these communities of people that I want to hang out with and keep hanging out with them.
Yes, I agree 100%. And I love my business network. It's all part of the formula that you've been talking about is my business network also provides me the freedom to go be in solitude on the weekends
Hmm.
because that's where I love to hang out. I love to be in nature. I love to recharge and meditate. And it's part of what I do to feed myself so I can feed other people during the week.
That's great. And I
Yeah.
think it can be different for everyone. Like I'm figuring out this way where I can give a keynote speech in Paris and then instead of just flying there and flying back, bring my wife along and we'll stay there for a couple of months.
Mm.
And then it's a business trip on top of it. Like, how cool is that? To me, it's
Mm-hmm.
very cool.
Definitely. Yeah. Wow. The topic of time freedom, there's so much richness to it. There's so much depth. And I think let's bring it back to the mindset piece
Hmm.
of giving yourself permission to create it.
Yeah. And I think this was like, I have kind of two things that I think about with regard to mindset for time freedom. One is just the fact that, just understanding what the real goal is. And so, I had always thought that, money buys freedom.
Mm,
And when I get money, then I can take control over my work and how I spend my time. But
mm,
I think I had it flipped in my mind, and
hmm
really the the ultimate goal was what the financial freedom gave me. So once I was like, well, let's just peel that back and say, well, what if I didn't have to get over that financial freedom hump first and I could still have what I wanted? That was very freeing. And that wasn't me, of course. It was in, you remember back to like February, March of 2020 when everything crashed in the stock market
mm.
and, 35% or something like that. And we were kind of getting close to some semblance of financial freedom. And I turned to my wife, I said, honey, we're not going to be doing financial freedom anytime soon. And she's like, well, what does that actually mean to you? She's got a good way of kind of cutting to the chase. And I'm like, I didn't actually have a good answer for like a day. Then I came back a day later and I said, well, I'll probably do the same thing, but just less of it. She's like, well, why do you have to wait for financial freedom for that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. you know? So, how do you make enough in 9 months to live 12 months? And you just keep doing that. And that's
hmm
basically what we figured out.
hmm
Yeah. And
You unlocked the secret of manifesting. It's do it now, live the way that you want to live, do it now, or the thing
it will happen.
you
Yeah.
embody it now. You don't wait until you get there. You have to do it now. So if you want fulfillment, focus on embodying fulfillment today. You don't wait until a milestone. It's the secret to truly manifesting the life that you desire. It's not hoping that it's going to happen. It's not,
Hmm.
it's like, no, you're shifting your energy to match where you want your life to be. And then
I, yeah.
it grows and expands from there, right? So,
And I'm newer to that type of thinking. However,
mm,
goodness, has it come true for me?
hmm
Like you want to get into speaking, so you start telling people about it. And before you know, you're hanging out with other speakers and then they're
hmm
helping you get speeches. And, that kind of stuff has
hmm
really proven to be the case. Or I'm writing this book, I'm enjoying the journey. All of a sudden, people are joining you on the journey and reading it early and making it better.
hmm
And, it's just this like it's self-fulfilling, right? Is that
hmm
basically what the manifestation is? It's been great.
It's the creation process as well, right? I bring in a term that people are like, oh, that's a woo-woo term, but I approach it very logically.
Hmm.
In order for me to create something new, I have to accept it fully and embody it and embrace it. So the mastermind, my exit strategies mastermind that we're launching in February, the idea started in Q3 of 25.
Hmm.
the idea hit me and it's like, okay, cool. I fully accepted it and embraced it and embodied it. I was like, yep, all of the energy of that mastermind became a part of me and sat with me, and my thoughts embraced it, my emotions embraced it, every part of me embraced it. So I embodied the thing, right? And then part of the beautiful and scary part for some people of the creation process is that the steps do not come all at once. The steps reveal
Mm-hmm.
themselves at the right time. So each time a step revealed itself, I went and did that thing. And here we are. This mastermind idea is at this current time is 4 months old
Mm-hmm.
and it's launching in a month. Like I have everything set. I have the program written. That was one of the steps that came after I embraced the idea and embodied this mastermind. The program was the next step that revealed itself. And then talking with the right people about it in the exit strategy space and just continuing to wait patiently for that step to reveal itself. And as soon as the step reveals itself, I take action on that step specifically. And then I'm patient enough to wait for the next step to reveal itself. And it just does. That's the creation process. If you're a creative or not, it does not matter. In the business world, we're always creating,
Mm-hmm.
or we're holding back from creating because we're afraid of the unknown, or because we think we need all the steps up front to do it, and we don't. If you're able to be patient and trust the process, okay, I have this idea. Cool. What's the first step? Wait for that step to come. It will. Once it does, take action on it and then wait for the next one. And sometimes they're rapid fire and sometimes it takes a while. It just depends on what it is that you're creating. So that's a huge part of the mindset that we need to wrap around or to get our heads around in order to create that time freedom is the creation process itself.
I've been also thinking about it from, possibly like, what would you write about next? Would be, so you are able to craft this time freedom where, you've got work that you need to do half time, and you're able to make a fine living doing that. And you've got support or you've got the way that you structure your work. And now you have this other half time. Like, what do you do with that time? Of course, first people go through, I'm going to travel. I'm going to do, it's important. All those things are important, especially if you had been burned out. But then at some point, I actually believe that yes, it does turn to creative work. Like, or that's just an option that people should consider.
It is an option.
Yeah, and well, and
Mhm.
and what just what I've learned about it in my singular experience with, writing this book is all the things that you've mentioned.
Mhm.
You don't need to have all the answers before you get started. It's not linear and sequential, it's circular, the creation process. Like all these things that are like we spend our entire professional careers kind of
Mhm.
suppressing, or learning the opposite of. And so I think that there's like an opportunity there to tell someone who's been just a business owner, like operationally, or just an employee, in an employed position, in a professional position, like there's a different way to approach this,
Mhm.
and it's possible. And yeah, and I would never have known that had I not gone through the writing process, but it's been so valuable. And I think it's a really great way for somebody that has time freedom to give back, make an impact, examine their life. Um, all of those
Mhm.
very important things that you want to do, that you realize you should be doing as you get a little bit more
Mhm.
advanced in your years, middle career or whatever it happens to be.
Yep. So if you are brave enough to create time freedom and you step into that space, you might just be inspired to do something creative. Um, if you had a hobby that you liked when you were a kid or whatever, like for me, I have a lot more mental space,
Hmm.
mental freedom this year. Last year, I had zero mental freedom because I was dealing with PTSD. And as I've been coming out of the PTSD and I can feel that it's like leaving me, I was dealing with it for a year and 4 months. It was brutal. Um, but now that I like shifted. Okay, cool. I can feel it leaving. I can feel like whatever deep work I had to do in that space has created more mental space for me. So I'm not working less, but I have such more freedom
Hmm.
mentally
Hmm.
that I have space to do something creative, which I'm learning the Native American flute
Oh,
when I do my
that's cool.
meditations. Yeah. Often, not always, but often I will listen to Native American flute music when I do my meditations in the evenings. And I stretch and meditate because I'm an active person. So I stretch, meditate, listen to music all at the same time, and it works for
Hmm.
me. So I'm used to hearing the flute sounds, and I don't know musical instruments. Like my voice is my musical instrument. So I just had this idea during the holidays. I was like, I want to learn the Native American flute. Let's go buy one. So I did. And here we are. I'm playing with it almost every single day. And because my ears are so attuned to hearing it, I know when the right sounds are coming out of the flute. And I'm not trying to be perfect at it. I'm not trying to learn keys. I'm
Hmm.
approaching it. I'm approaching it very holistically of like, I'm going to build a relationship with this instrument and I want to familiarize myself with the sounds that I can create. And some of them are awful.
You mean like a recorder from the third graders?
It sounds great. And then it's like, oh my God, crap.
Oh.
What did I do to create that sound? Let's not do that again. Yeah,
It's
it's
one of those sounds that would cause like that would have caused my dog to howl.
uh-huh, 100%. Yeah, but it's fun because I do have the mental space now to challenge myself in a new way, which I love to do. I love to challenge myself in different ways. And it's working great. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself. It's just almost every day I pick it up and play it and listen and pay attention to the good sounds or the awful sounds and how did I create either one? And then I put it down.
I think it's pretty cool that you have the skill set around like running a business, which is to me is more like technical analytical, but then you've also got the creative side. And I
Hmm.
feel like there are I'm trying I'm a business technical analytical person who's gone through this
Hmm.
2 year journey to find this creative side, and it's been incredible, truly transformative. And I think more of us should be like that. I've met a couple people,
Hmm.
yourself and another person I'm thinking of in
Hmm.
particular, but I feel like there could be more, right? And
There could be.
I'm not skilled at teaching the creative person how to become more professional in their, craft.
Me either. Me either.
But the other way is
Yes.
possible, you
Yes.
know?
Sign
And
me up for that
yeah,
way, but not the first one.
yeah. Because there's a lot of stuff out there about, trying to teach artists and whomever to you know, be, do it every day, treat it like a job, all of those sorts of things.
Mhm.
Then you'll find your muse. I'm like, well, I know how to sit down and do things every day. I can do that kind of stuff. But
Mhm.
I need to know about all these other secrets, like we've talked about, that come with creative work. That was completely foreign. Like, I remember working on
Mhm.
this one chapter for over an entire month and ending up right where I started. And I thought, what a waste of time. And I was taught that is absolutely not a waste of time. Think of everything you now know because of that journey. In the business world, I'd be like, okay, well, that was a waste. you know, you get
Totally.
it.
I do. I love working with my logicals, my analyticals, my, very like masculine brain people, and then teaching them the other side of it because we do need both. We need both to truly have a fulfilling business and a successful business. And somebody like myself, as the coach, comes along and says, "Hey, did you think about this?" Because both sides of my brain are very active.
Hmm.
So we have the masculine side of the brain and the feminine side of the brain, and I attribute like my logical side to the masculine side, and then the creative side to more of the feminine. And they're both extremely active within me. And I'm super grateful for that because I do bring that special sauce of, well, okay, Misty, how did you get there? Well, because I allow my brain to think creatively. I push the limits. It's like here's what we need to create. Now, here's the limits that are not the limits on it, but the boundaries on it, the structure on it. And now how do I create it within that time frame or whatever, whatever the structure is that I need to work within. And then out pops the creative ideas. And it helps the business owners really shift their thinking too, because they're not stuck in a linear thought process or they're not stuck on black and white or it has to be this way. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
did you think about option number 3? They're like, no. So it works really, really well.
What I'm feeling is like, I talk about, combining your work and your money to create a life you love. Now we're kind of talking about creating using your logical side and your creative side to create the work that you love.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, this is interesting. That's why it looks like what am I doing over here? I'm like writing this stuff down, doing a little research while we're having a podcast.
Definitely. But don't ask me to teach a creative how to logically think.
Oh no,
Don't.
I, I wouldn't even know the mindset. So like, how could you even teach it?
I mean, first of all, there has to be a desire for it. So,
Right, right, right.
uh,
And I bet it's easier probably to convince a logical person to find creativity than the other way around. I'm thinking
mhm,
because because
yep.
you hit
If
middle. Yeah, go ahead,
if
please.
it is tied to their business and their money, yes.
That's the trick.
Yes.
Gotcha. I also thought it's tied. Like my experience was you hit 45 or 40 or whatever the year, 40. I was just talking about this with someone today. And you look and you go, ooh, there were all these things I was supposed to achieve at 40 and I didn't. And then the next thing you say is, why did I think I needed to achieve those things at 40? I was, you're like, you move from this point of just focusing on what you're doing to like why you're
Mhm.
doing it. And I think that why question could lead people into like creative pursuits. But I think the creative people know why they do it. That's why they do it. They love it. And so, like, how do you teach them to go the other way? It just feels harder to me. I don't
It
know.
is. It
Yeah.
is. It's almost impossible, but not impossible.
Yeah.
There, I'm sure there's a gifted person out there that can teach creatives to think logically, but it's not me.
I've actually met one person. I think she goes by the autonomous creative, and it's all about like button share, get your stuff done, do the work that you need to do to get money, and then work on your creative stuff. Like it's important to
Hmm.
do it. Don't let it lag. It's important, and that's
Hmm.
good. I never understood it though because I didn't have that. I don't have that problem,
Hmm.
because I'm coming in from the other side.
Definitely. Well, this has been a very insightful conversation, and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. We usually record for a half hour, but I think we've been recording for a lot longer, so
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sure the audience will
This
enjoy
is fun.
it. So, if people want to reach you, do you have a website?
I do. Um, my website is timefreedom.life, and it has everything about me on there. But again, I really would love to point people to, and the book is on the website, but the
Good.
timefreedombook.com is the direct link, and that's where
Hmm.
you can get that. Usually I say pre-order 3 books to get the free audiobook, but if you put in code Misty, then you can just order 1 book and get the free audiobook, which is a
Mm.
two for one, which is great. Because then, and I just heard this the other day. I forget who it was, but they're like, a great way to learn something is to have both versions of the book, an audiobook and a physical book. Listen
Mm.
to it as you're reading it, and it really soaks it in. So I'm like, oh, cool. I was doing this without even realize I was doing it.
Mm.
You just have to wait a
Amazing.
little bit. You'll have to wait a little bit for the written book, but
Yes, I want a copy as soon as the written one's available. Well, thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you. It's been so great to be here.
Uh, Such a great conversation. And if you guys cannot wait for the book, then please get the audio and podcasting perks. You don't have to get 3 to get the 1. So
You got it.
wonderful. All right, you guys, give yourself permission to create what you need to create or want to create within the business. Give yourself permission to have time freedom now. Give yourself permission to be fulfilled this year. It is a new year. You can reinvent yourself at any point. So the big theme right now is give yourself permission. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. and we will see you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Mind podcast. Please be sure to download the Wealthy Mind app today and make sure to support your local Dress for Success.